Not just an immortal moment in NBA history, but a moment to go down for all the annals of sport. But what happened before? What happened after? Well, to find out, join me as I go through Willis Reed's entire career in the basketball experiment. Willis Reed was selected 10th overall by the New York Knicks in the 1964 draft. No time to ease into the professional ranks. The rookie played 38 minutes a game, but he treaded water, playing at a starter level. A slight sophomore slump in 1966. Reed's play would dip below a starter level, although he was named an All-Star for the second straight year. His awards level was still running ahead of his performance level in 1967. His play was much improved, reaching an All-Star level, but officially he was named to the All-NBA second team. The Knicks were still struggling, having spent the last two seasons at the 30-win mark. But this season had a slight improvement, winning 36 games and reaching the playoffs. They lost 3-1, but in that short sample size, Reed looked like a superstar, averaging 27 points and 13 rebounds on 53% shooting in the series. The Knicks would build upon the momentum, breaking through with a winning season in 1968. They would face the defending champion 76ers in the semis. They put up a fight, but lost 4-2. But it was the second straight year that Reed played well in a playoff series, averaging 21 points and 10 rebounds on an efficient 54% from the field. Playoff Willis Reed would bleed over into the regular season in 1969, playing at an All-NBA first-team level. He only made the second team, but he did finish second in MVP voting. The Knicks leapt up as well, winning 54 games. They would sweep the Bullets in the semifinals to advance to the Eastern Division Finals. They lost to the Celtics 4-2, but in an expanded playoff run, Reed was marvelous again, flirting around an MVP level and putting up 25 points and 14 rebounds per game. The Knicks were even better in 1970, winning 60 games, and Willis was named MVP. And we will take a look at the last two seasons for Willis Reed, combining them, the 1969 season and the MVP 1970 season. First with the basic stats, 21.4 points per game, 14.2 rebounds, 2.2 assists on 51% shooting from the field. And now looking at the advanced stats, the PER at 20.8, average win shares per season at 14.7, and the win shares per 48 at .227. Now, interestingly enough, he wins the MVP, of course, in 1970, but 1969, the PER is slightly higher at 21.4 than 20.3 in 1970, and he has just a little bit higher 0.1 difference in total win shares in 1969, with the league leading 14.7. He has 14.6 in 1970. The win shares per 48 are identical in both seasons at .227. Just like in total win shares in 1969, he led the league in win shares per 48 as well. I just wanted to point out that he might be just a smidge or a hair better in 1969 than his MVP winning season of 1970. In my opinion, I would say these two seasons, they're not an overly dominating MVP level he reaches if we want to compare it to other MVP award winners. But even at the bare minimum, if it's not an overwhelming MVP level output from Willis in these two seasons, it's still definitely at an All-NBA first team level. And we see at his peak, he's comfortably one of the best players in the league. Facing the Bullets in the semifinals again, the series was tied 2-2 heading into Game 5. The Knicks smoked the Bullets by 21 points with help from a monster performance from Reed. 36 points and 36 rebounds. I repeat, 36 rebounds. However, he did not follow it up in Game 6, scoring only 10 points on 14% shooting. But the Knicks would defeat the Bullets in Game 7 to get back to the division finals. It featured a great center matchup, Reed versus Abdul-Jabbar. There was no stopping Kareem, but Willis held his own. He would score a game-high 32 points in the clinching Game 5 blowout win, which would result in the Knicks advancing to the finals for the first time since 1953. Their opponent, the Los Angeles Lakers, who were in their third straight finals appearance. Reed scored 38 points and grabbed 17 rebounds in the Game 3 win, giving the Knicks the 2-1 edge. He went down with an injury early in Game 5, only playing 8 total minutes. But the Knicks rallied in the second half and held on for the win, now leading the series 3-2. Unable to play in Game 6, the Knicks lost by 22 points. And without Reed's paint presence, Wilt Chamberlain played at a god level, torching them for 45 points on 74% shooting. And so it came to be, the immortal moment. Everybody doubtful Willis would play in Game 7. But color commentator Jack Twyman excitedly announced Reed making his modest entrance through the tunnel and on to the court for the warm-ups, as the New York crowd went ecstatic. Reed's presence seemed to give the Knicks a sense of relief. We all know what followed. He hit his first shot. He hit his second shot. He would not hit another, but the Knicks took the lead and never looked back, winning the first championship in franchise history. With Reed being named Finals MVP. And now we're going to take a look at the previous two postseasons combined, the 1969 Division Finals run and the 1970 championship run. First with the basic stats, 24.4 points per game, his very comfortable double-double at 13.9 rebounds, 2.5 assists, while shooting 48% from the field. Now looking at the advanced stats, the PER at 20.8, the highest amount of win shares he had in the postseason was, not surprisingly, 1970 championship run with 2.6, and the win shares per 48 at 0.195. In my opinion, I would say this is definitely at an All-NBA level. possibly flirting around the All-NBA first-team level, maybe not as comfortable as he's able to do it in the regular season. 1970 is hurt a little bit by the injuries in the finals, pretty much missing Game 5 and 6, and the famous Game 7, which wasn't a great game for him statistically because he was hurt, obviously. But I think those final 3 games do kind of hurt his numbers a little bit, his overall numbers in the 70 playoffs. Looking at the numbers from 1969, the PER at 22 and the win shares per 48 at .242, that to me is quite a sample of how incredible Willis was. Very comfortably one of the best players, including doing it in the playoffs as well. The Knicks dropped off a bit to 52 wins in 1971, and Reed dropped a bit as well, but still at an All-NBA level. The Knicks were unable to repeat as champions, losing Game 7 to the Bullets in the conference finals. Reed had 24 points and 12 rebounds in Game 7, but for most of the playoffs, he was not himself, averaging only 15 points on 41% shooting. Virtually a lost year in 1972, he only played 11 games and missed the entirety of the Knicks' finals run in the playoffs. Nagging knee injuries saw Reed play role player minutes in 1973, but the Knicks had found great chemistry again, winning 57 games. And in the playoffs, captured their second championship. And Reed won his second Finals MVP award. More injuries piling up, he only played 19 games in 1974. He would play in the postseason, but only 12 minutes a game in the conference finals run, with the Game 4 loss to the Celtics being the final game of Reed's career. And now we will take a quick look back at the prime of Willis Reed, encompassing the 1967 through 1971 seasons. First, with the basic stats, 21.1 points per game, and the easy double-double of 14 rebounds, to go with 2 assists per game, and shooting just under 50% at 49.4% from the field. Looking at the advanced stats, the PER at 20.1, the average win shares per season at 11.6, and the win shares per 48 at .188. And in my opinion, I feel for the entirety of his prime, he is at the All-NBA level. Not quite at the All-NBA first-team level every year, but definitely the standout seasons of 69 and 70. Easily at the All-NBA first-team level. And the NBA and I are in agreement, as he did make the All-NBA team every single year during this stretch for all 5 seasons. Definitely a great run for Reed during this era. And now we'll take a look at the playoffs and compare them back to the regular season. First, with the basic stats, the points go up just by 1 point, from 21.1 to 22.2. The rebounds go down by 1 rebound, from 14 to 13. Just a slight increase in the assists, from 2 to 2.3. And the field goal percentage just drops 1%, from 49 to 48. Looking at the advanced stats, the PER just a 1-point drop from 20.1 to 19.2, and a little bit of a drop in the win shares per 48 from 188 down to .169. In my opinion, I would say that just that slight drop does take Willis out of the All-NBA level for the entirety of his playoff prime to more of an all-star level, with the exception of which I covered before, the incredible 1969 postseason run. In 1970, I'd say he's on the borderline of being at an All-NBA level. But the other postseasons where the Knicks didn't have quite the run that they would in 69 and 70, he was definitely more comfortably at an all-star level. And Willis makes it here on the list primarily because of what we've covered, the 1969 and 1970 seasons and postseasons. If he's not the best player in the league at this time, he's certainly number 2 or number 3. Not to mention the awards he did win, the 1970 MVP and the 2 finals MVPs. Obviously, the 1970 finals MVP having more meaning than the 1973 finals MVP, where he's really not the same player anymore. But we are able to see what an excellent peak Willis had, especially for the era. If you agree or disagree, let me know down in the comments. And thank you for watching.